Have you canceled anyone lately? Recently, I've been discouraged a bit by the rancor and posts on social media or discussions between people about many things these days, most especially politics as we near an election. And I'm most discouraged by the way those discussions look among religious people, specifically Catholics. Insults, dismissal, and demeaning language, all meant to cancel people out. It seems we live in a cancellation culture right now. Monday's gospel from the 9th chapter of Luke seems to address this. This is the gospel where the disciples are bickering about who is the greatest. And Jesus puts a child in front of them and tells them the least will be the greatest among you. And then the disciples tell him about someone casting out demons who isn't a follower of Jesus and how they canceled him out. Jesus rebukes them and says, if someone isn't against you, then they are for you. As if to say, acknowledge the good he is doing. There are two messages that spoke to me in this gospel about the cancellation culture. The first is a message of goodness. Jesus calls us to see the good in others, even when they might believe different or think different or act differently than us. Why? Because there's goodness in everyone, and that's where our common humanity lies. That's the beginning point. Jesus tells us to focus on that and not something else. An intentional choice to focus on the good is not a blind eye or endorsement of the evil or wrongdoing in someone else. It is a choice to continue to encounter the other for the sake of goodness. Let us not demonize people, but appeal to their goodness. Point it out and begin from there. Yes, it's much easier to simply cancel someone, to be done with them. But the work of love is one that demands that we dig in and seek out the good in others, to affirm it and even fertilize it so that their goodness and ours can grow. What I've found is that when I am least connected to God, in other words, when my prayer life is pretty much non-existent, when I'm not taking time for quiet reflection each day, and I allow myself to be blown back and forth between the winds of daily life, then I am more apt to dismiss or cancel someone. But the contemplative or prayerful person has room in their heart to hold the tensions of the demons in this world and deal with them compassionately and charitably and recognize the good and encounter them. The second message that surfaced from this gospel for me is a message of humility. Is our judgment of others' imperfections tempered by our own imperfections? When we cancel others, do we consider what it would be like if we were dismissed for our mistakes or our differing views? In demonizing others, do we demonize ourselves by closing off the possibility of encounter? Finally, when someone is being nasty, when someone refuses to see your goodness and simply won't allow you to affirm their goodness to find common ground, then Jesus also gives us instructions from this same chapter of Luke's gospel. He says, shake the dust from your feet and move on. No need to return evil for evil or demonize. Just shake the dust. During this contentious time, let us encounter, not cancel.